please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of what you do.
Okay, do you want me to start now?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Guadalupita Ortiz. My husband and I were both raised in northern New Mexico. Our families have been here since the late 1800s. And I was born on the feast day of Our Lady of Guadalupe, so my name is Guadalupita Maria Francisca. I got interested in doing retablos when I worked at the Folk Art Museum. Watching how they did all their research and documented particular things about the old santos. So I started painting 40 years ago, and this is my first Spanish market, a photograph that was taken by a friend. That was in 1979. And what has happened throughout the years is maybe it was the influence of the Folk Art Museum. I do a lot of research on each saint, and I adhere the story behind each panel, each retablo. And it became a routine for me. Working every day, I would work a few hours in the morning, a few in the afternoon, or maybe the evening, and it just gives me so much peace. It's so much part of my life that I would never be able to stop. And if I did stop doing the markets, I would probably still continue to do the artwork. And through the grace of God, He's been good for me. God has. And
Show us a little bit of your work and explain a little bit about the coats of paint you mentioned. What makes these retablos extremely special, because there's a very line, and like you were saying, your lines are almost of a surgeon, performing on a body. Why it's so perfect and neat. Can you talk about one of your paintings?
Sure. Well, sometimes I know a couple years ago at a market, someone thought that they were photographs that had been adhered to wood, and I would never do that, deceive anyone to say these are hand painted and then be doing something so deceitful. I start out with a piece of wood, and years ago when I first started, we lived here in Santa Fe, and it was hard to find clear pine and so forth. But eventually, I was able to switch to that, the clear pine, and so that's what I use. And I use about 3 coats of gesso, and I have been using since I started. I use commercial gesso that you buy at the art store in the professional grade. And through the grace of God, I've never had the gesso crack. I also started with a kit of acrylics that my husband gave me for probably Mother's Day, and this was the actual chart that was in there, and it says permanent pigments. So my professional grade of acrylic that I use has pigment in it. That's where the color comes from. The only thing that's different is the binder, which is man-made. But it actually shows 25 cents, and it was folded like this, and there were several tubes. But this was a chart that shows how you can blend colors. So I'm still using the same product, and it's been a very positive thing for me. And I love what I do because of the peace that it gives me, and people appreciate the work. And as you can tell, I do a lot of detail, and it would be hard for me to do a real quick one, in outline form with a wash. So
how much do you spend on painting?
I don't know. One time I was doing one similar to that one with the lace over there, and it was 2.5 months that I had been working on it. And so I don't know. I don't keep track because I'll paint like for 2-3 hours in the morning, and then I go run errands, do laundry, and then 4 o'clock comes around. It's time to fix dinner. So that's been my routine for so many years. Thank you.